Could Cardano have already bottomed? Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, I'm going to bring you a comparison between ADA and Bitcoin because there is a very important moving average on both of these charts that indicates that Bitcoin has not bottomed yet and it needs to go down to $23,000. But that same indicator that says that Bitcoin should bottom at $22,000 says that ADA bottomed because it went below 54 cents. Has the bottom for Cardano already come in? Or is there more to the downside and more to this story? That's what we're going to be discussing today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. But without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. As you guys know, Cardano recently pulled all the way down to 39 cents. In doing so, it set a new local low that it had not seen ever since February of 2021. In that time, we also saw Cardano come down on weekly candle bodies down to a support level around 48 cents. That's actually a very important level because we pretty much double bottomed down here on the daily chart, and we are at the moment attempting a recovery. But something interesting shows up out on the weekly chart if you bring up something called the 200 weekly simple moving average. Take a look at this moving average right here. At the moment, we're above this moving average, this red moving average. It's only recently come into play. We actually have no historical data on how Cardano interacts with this moving average because it requires nearly 4 years of price data to actually begin. Cardano's just over 4 years old, so we're only now getting this moving average, and it looks like Cardano is trying to bounce off of it. The reason this moving average is so important is because if you look at Bitcoin's total history, you can see that every single time in Bitcoin's history that it came down and tested this bottom, it bounced almost immediately. Or at an extreme, such as here in March of 2020, you saw that the market would go down 30% below the 200 weekly simple moving average. This is also the moving average that is calling for a $22,000 Bitcoin because that's where that moving average is currently sitting. But looking back at Cardano, what we saw on Bitcoin starts to make a lot of sense because on Bitcoin, the worst that we ever saw Bitcoin do against this moving average was drop 30 cents below this moving average. Well, in this case, we saw Cardano drop 29% below the 200 weekly simple moving average in the same way a worst case scenario in history drop on Bitcoin did here in March of 2020. Could this be arguing that Cardano has already bottomed by going down to 38 cents? Well, I actually think yes, because I've told you guys that I believe the absolute bottom on Cardano is going to be between 35 and 38 cents. Well, not that long ago, just several weeks ago, we saw Cardano on the 12th of May pull back down to 38.5 cents, meaning that it dropping 30% below the 200 weekly simple moving average is virtually an identical drop to what we saw happen here in the pandemic drop back in March of 2020, where we dropped 30% below the moving average. This is just more evidence in my book that we are going to see bottom on Cardano sitting between 35 and 38 cents. In fact, it is possible that Cardano has already bottomed at 38.5 cents. And if that is the case, then that means that most of the next 6 months will probably be sideways or to the upside on Cardano as you see Bitcoin moving down to $22,000. It's possible that what we're going to see happen here is that moving into Basel, which will show up here on this vertical line at the end of June, on June 29th, we're going to see a dead cat bounce on Cardano. It could come back and backtest 35 to 39, maybe 40 cents in the same way that Bitcoin did in March of 2020 on the 200 weekly simple moving average. We could see something very similar happen on Cardano here. And that would make a lot of sense for another reason as well. We can see that when the market did drop down to this level on the RSI, we saw RSI just a couple weeks later drop down to 30.9, the lowest level in the history of Cardano. Cardano didn't even go lower than that on RSI when it lost 98.5% of its value back here in March of 2020. We still didn't see RSI at that point go below 35, indicating that Cardano is in the most oversold territory in the history of the currency. And I do believe that means something, and we should be paying very close attention to it. Now, I'm not saying that this green candlestick, this green engulfing candlestick is the beginning of a bull market. No, not at all. I think we still have a lot of sideways movement to go on Cardano, and I think you're going to see something similar happen on Bitcoin. What I am saying is that if we compare this bear market on Cardano to its first bear market, I think we more or less just entered this accumulation phase that started here in December of 2018 and then lasted all the way through May of 2020. And frankly, it may last as long. Maybe we do trade sideways for a year here on Cardano. And you know what? Maybe that'd be a good thing, because guess what happened after we saw the bear market end on Cardano? We saw a year and a half of sideways movement. We saw Cardano rally from bottom to top 16,000% in the span of a year and a half. And the invention of some of the most powerful blockchain research systems that have ever been created were built in that time period. So, has Cardano bottomed, and did this indicator, the 200 weekly simple moving average, call it? I think so. If we do go lower than 38.5 cents, it's probably only going to be by a couple of percents, a couple of cents, same difference. It's probably only going to go down to 35 cents. I think the Cardano bottom is in or just about in, so I really do think anything above 35, below $1 is a great buy, and you will be glad that you purchased at these levels in 2, 3, 4, 5 years when Cardano has the ability to maybe to overtake Ethereum, potentially be the #2 cryptocurrency, and even if not, could still go to $30 by the end of the decade. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you believe that the 200 weekly simple moving average on Cardano has called the bottom for Cardano in the exact same way that it called the bottom for Bitcoin in March of 2020? If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on all of our social media at CryptoJeb over on Instagram and Twitter, at CryptoJebOfficial over on TikTok. And don't forget about Club DeFi. It will be launching at some point in the future, and when it does, you are not going to want to miss out, because you are going to be getting access to all kinds of videos, new videos coming out all the time, every single month, office hours, training, our Discord server, and more. So make sure you stay on the lookout for Club DeFi's launch coming at some point in the future. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Whoa there, partner! You watched the whole video. Good on you. Now what you can do to make me even happier is go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, bing that notification bell, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.